Just finished up Ultra Nightmare and Classic Mode Nightmare of the new Super Gore Nest official master level. I'm going to give you my thoughts, what I liked and what I didn't care for too much. My name's Allstin. Let's dive right in. So first of all, it's tough. It is probably it is the hardest of the 3 official master levels, I would say. It's the toughest, Cultist is middle, and Art Complex is easiest. So yeah, Ultra Nightmare, it was a challenge. There are a lot of tight, cramped rooms, I think is probably the biggest issue. I did have a little bit of trouble outside, but really when you have all that space to meat hook around, ballista boost, and all that, you really are in a better position than when you're in a tiny room locked with a marauder or a double. We'll talk more about those here in just a minute, what I thought about that, but classic weapon placement was interesting. You don't get the ballista and the shield, some of the best things till the very end, so that's something else to think about. I didn't really think about that much, but the early part was definitely a little interesting to have to adapt everything a little differently now. The challenge system itself rocks. I love the idea, and I'm ready for more challenge things in the future. I didn't really think much, like I said, about the rest of the weapon placement, but it was tricky fighting everything at the start with not much weaponry at all. Some mods aren't even in there. Like, there is no lock-on burst that I could find. Yeah, like I said, the outside arenas were easier. Overall, the inside were tougher due to confined spaces. So you need to know that going in. And I think that they made that like that intentionally. They wanted to be harder on different ways, so they used that against you. So I do like the challenge. I do like when the game pushes you. We've had now a base game, master levels, DLC, which had a couple tweaks and changes to it. And like Slayer Gates, all that stuff. We'll maybe talk about that another time. And the other places, it's good. We've had everything to work up to this point. So you got to make things harder. You have to find a way to push the player and say, okay, they are at this level. How can we bring them up to the next level? That's what you have to do. And that's what they wanted to with this master level. Unfortunately, I don't think that some of them were the best ways. Now, if anyone at id Software or Hugo or Marty or anybody is watching this, just know that I'm coming from a place of constructive criticism from a player viewpoint. I'm not bashing. I'm not trying to be like, oh, negative. Click, watch this video, watch me be mean. I'm not being like that. That's not what the channel's about if you see my channel for any length of time over these past 2.5 years. We're about community and being positive approaches. So yeah, if it sounds like your kind of community, you should subscribe to the channel and join our Discord. We have a Golden Ultra Nightmare role. I'll tell you more about that here in a minute. And follow on Twitch to chat with me and see this stuff live. So this is just coming from an Ultra Nightmare / challenge player, and I think there are a few rooms that I really, really liked, first of all. The Slime Marauder room, I've seen a lot of negativity around that. I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. It's pretty much like resource management in a new way. You have that extra layer. You have your health and your armor and your ammo, but now you have the rad suit that you have to manage as well, going off of that respawn that it has. You can meat hook around the Marauders if you want to, go around. It's basically cat and mouse with the pupper that the Marauders have. I liked it. I liked the slime room. It was harder in classic mode, but still I liked it. The classic mode, we'll talk about that here in just a second. Ooh, it was tough. We'll get more into that. A negative side of my Ultra Nightmare run. I feel like that the tough areas do rely a little too much on gimmicks, I guess you could say. There were times when I saw some enemy placements and I was like, really, guys? I mean, it was fine and everything. Like, for example, where before the red Gore key, you go and there's, I'm trying to recall from memory, there's like Spectres and Cybermancubi, Doom Hunter and all that. It's fine. It's fine, but it still made me think about the double tyrants following that area and just different stuff like that. But there was also the area underground before you go outside to where the second buff totem is originally in the game that I killed the Mancubus, and I thought, like, does this end? The zombies keep spawning. I didn't know to go look for the buff totem, so ouch. That still survived, though, thankfully, but still. One thing is, you do need to be able to precision bolt rocket launcher quick swap, which is overshadowed in the main game and the DLC, but it looks really cool here. One of the main things, the double tyrant Doom Hunter room, and like I said, I'm showing you some general footage from this. If you want to play it and see it for yourself, that way you can just take the experience in on your own vibe there. It was tricky. Especially in classic mode, I had to make a strategy, like hold that ice bomb for the Doom Hunter and then go into the Tyrant. So I get it, man, I get it. But I just feel like that in ways it was too gimmick related. But hey, I want to make a challenge. But the key point here that I really want everyone that's watching this, that you are sitting on your phone or on your couch or your bed, whatever you're doing as you watch this video, here's what you need to take into account. We've talked about this in my Discord. If you're not in there, you should be. We have a golden role for the Ultra Nightmare Slayers. We help each other out with strategy chat and talk about everything else. Discord link in the description and pinned comment. And comment below if you've seen some of the help we give there and some of the cool stuff we do. It seems the general consensus is you have fun and then you have difficult. And the same thing with anything else. You have to find that line where you have it fun on the cusp of not too hard and challenging. Like, you don't want to make things a slaughter map and just throw crap at people and then be like, oh, take this challenge. You have to find fun and hard, not unfun and hard. And that is a tough balance, especially when you have such a vast array and variety of players that Doom Eternal has. Some people may think this is cool, some people may not, so you really have to find that middle ground, because that line's going to be in different places for different people, although generally it's going to be around the same vicinity, because we all know, like, hey, 2 tyrants or 17 tyrants surrounding you in a tiny room would be bad, obviously. So there is something that we all have in common in that way. The Fog Marauder, he was okay. A little trickier, but he was aight. Classic mode was tougher too. I forgot I had my rocket launcher. The ending chase scene was good. There's a buff Marauder and then a double buff. That's fine. I'm kind of curious. I should have fought one, but the timer had me going. I was a little confused on that swimming section. The swimming section in the Ultra Nightmare didn't really have anything. Apparently it had Crucible on the classic mode. I didn't go in there because I didn't think there was going to be anything. Still, yeah, nonetheless, seeing all the Crucible spawns, I should have thought that, but that's okay. Swimming with tentacles and having no way to fight them, don't really like that, but that just means you have to maneuver around them Mario style, which I know we already have the fire poles. The other room, right before the Fog Marauder with the carcasses that are galore, and then the knights, way too many carcasses there. I was not a big fan of that room. Although the power-up room was kind of a gimmick, it was still pretty cool, I guess. It was okay. Yeah. So there were some bugs. I'm sure these are going to be worked on. They are working on bugs. They do know about the different things that are happening in the game, of course. So the soft lock at the Modbot room, unfortunately, and like I said, if you want to play this and you'll be able to see everything, that way you can check it out. You can get soft lock there. I'm sure that'll be fixed. It's kind of a bummer because in a master level, you can't just Alt F4 out or load checkpoint if you're on Ultra Nightmare. You have to restart the whole dang thing. Had to do that once, unfortunately. Classic mode, actually, when you fast travel, it's probably for Nightmare. You will actually respawn encounters and do them all over again if you fast travel. So it's a little risky. I didn't try it on Ultra Nightmare because I was going to finish the level. But you be very careful. You will fight new encounters again. I didn't test that too much because I didn't want to screw anything up. I wanted to finish my classic run and go with that. All in all, I like what they're doing overall. I like that they say, hey, we're going to try to up the ante as they should be and make it tougher on the player. You just have to be careful not to go too far to the gimmick area to where the players see something happen and then they're like, okay. You want to make them like, oh crap. And an example of oh crap was the buff totem room, double buff totem on classic mode. I'll actually put the footage on there for this one. I was actually flying around trying to get the cacodemons, and it was like, it was the fun zone. It felt good, but it was really risky. It was just such a tiny space for all that stuff to be going on, but I pulled off some cool moves, I think. You just have to be careful with it. Like I said, I hope anybody that Hugo watches this, I hope you don't think anything negative of me or anything like that. I love the game. I love the series. I have since the 90s. I've been a fan for a long, long time, and I just want to see the best for it. For future master levels, what can I recommend? Well, I would like to see some spirits and blood makers incorporated, tastefully, of course, into these master levels. Although, being the DLC, I did touch on this in the master levels delayed video. It being the DLC, I know that the people that play this master level may not have that paid content. That is fine, but still yet, it would be interesting to see them put into play, like, I don't know about a Possessed Marauder, but just something. In a way, I do see them having value to stay in just the DLC, not just for the paid content and free content thing, but I know the last half of the game would be a lot different with that, with and without them, the difference there, but I don't know. Maybe they could stay in the DLC. Time will tell. All the archviles, that was interesting. There were a whole lot of tyrants at the end, too. A little bit more variety would have been cool in a way as well. And as far as Crucible and BFG, I mean, in a way, the amounts were really probably fine, but in a way, like I said, maybe there's just a little bit too much Crucible and BFG ammo, but then again, really, they probably shouldn't change anything about it. So you can really just shred through those final arenas if you manage them properly and use them well. Overall, I just would like to know what everybody else thinks in the comment section below. Please let me know what you think. If you liked it, if you did not like it, come to the Discord. We'll talk about it. Subscribe to the channel if you dig the stuff I do. My name is Allstin. I'll catch you later. Goodbye. By the way, you're really going to like Friday's video. See ya.